Hello, everyone. Today's the final day of the 3-day interview marathon, and I'm here with none other than Juju, frontman and wrangler, and Desert Daze founder, the big guy. It's him. It really is. And we're here with Mr. Phil Pirrone. Did I say your name right? Is it Pirrone?
It's Pirrone, but everybody in my
Pirrone.
entire life has said Pirrone, so it's just as much Pirrone as it is Pirrone.
And how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, we're doing all the things you got to do when you're putting together a Desert Days, which is a many plethora of thing.
I know it looks like a very complicated beast, but a beautiful one at that.
It is a beautiful, complicated beast. Well said. Well said.
Appreciate it.
Well put.
And that's definitely something I want to discuss, because it's a super rare opportunity to be able to speak to someone so involved in the scene, and especially someone who's involved in like the psychedelic rock scene and like the weird niche scene. Because people like you are hard to come by. And so yeah, I just wanna, I don't know if I said this already. I appreciate you coming here and making this happen. And
Absolutely.
how like just like I've got so many questions about Desert Days, man. Like, how does that even how do you start thinking about like what artists you want to get, and then how do you make that happen? That's something I've been wondering. Like, how do you get these incredible artists, like the Crumpets or all the best at their field? Like, how do you do that?
I mean, well, let's go back to the beginning, right? So, um, those first few years, it was really tough to get people to say yes. You know, you're brand new. No one's ever heard of what's Desert Days. I don't know what that is. No, my artist is not going to go play that. You know, and you ask your favorite bands, they say no, or their agents say no, and then you just go down your list, right? And it's funny because like we've come a long way, but like it's still the process is very much the same. You have your dream lineup, and for whatever reason, they may want to play the festival. They may have heard of the festival now. It's tried and true, and it's tested and kid tested, mother approved, and but sometimes schedules don't line up. So it's very much the same now as it was in the old days, in the sense that you gotta like be really creative and okay, that didn't work out. Who do we want to ask next? Okay, we're out of all of our plan A ideas are gone. Plan B, and so you just have to like think quick on your feet and keep asking. Someone eventually is going to say yes. you know, so that's who played the first Desert Days, the ones that said yes. you know,
It's really funny and really interesting because that's like the same thing for interviewing. Like,
mm,
I was trying to get Queens of the Stone Age on this for my first interview, which no way in hell that was gonna happen, but
that is
tried.
ambitious, my friend.
Yeah, it did not happen. But then, we build it up, and I mean, now I'm interviewing people like you. I've got, just did Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and it's insane.
That's cool,
And
man.
I know, but for me, it's like it's been 2 months, so it's going really fast. I assume it's not
Amazing.
that fast for a for a festival.
No, it takes time. Well, I mean, we were very lucky. The second year we did Desert Days in 2013, my favorite band, Tenarwin, said yes. And I remember that feeling of like, holy moly, Tenarwin's going to come over here from Africa and they're going to play Desert Days. It's just my 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 young mind was completely blown, by that concept. And I love that feeling. It still happens. Um, like last year, or not last year, but the last time we did the festival in 2022, when Tame Impala said yes to do Lonerism. That was another like my mind is blown
Insane.
moment. Absolutely insane. I threw the idea out there very much thinking that they would be like, at best, being like, we'll play, but we're not going to play that album. We're just going to do our whatever we want, which would have been fine. But when they came back and they're like, yeah, he wants to do Lonerism, I'm just like, what? I just couldn't believe it. So
And
you'll have those moments where your
oh
mind
yeah,
will be blown.
I'm hoping, and funny you bring that up because that's like I think that's how I found out of Desert Days because I went
Mm,
through my Tim Impala phase, and there was this sick, it almost looked like a small show, considering he was playing arenas, and there's
yeah,
like this kind of smaller show with insane visuals, a super engaged crowd. I was like, where, how could they have done this? How could this possibly have happened? And playing Lonerism too, like insane, but
really
that's a
insane.
feat, It really is.
Yeah, and I don't know if how much you've done your homework since you discovered Desert Days, but Tame Impala actually played in 2018,
Yeah,
but
they did. They did.
they there was a lightning storm, and we had to pull them off stage 3 songs into their set and
I did not know
evacuate.
that.
Yeah, and evacuate the entire venue. And that was heartbreaking. Um, at that point, they were the biggest band we'd ever booked, our favorite band, our like bucket list band to book. And they finally got on stage and it was happening. And then the stage manager was like, I need to talk to you. It's like, oh no, something's not good. I could just tell. I was like, this is not good. And he's like, we're gonna let them go on. And just my heart just sank because I knew what was coming next. And he's like, then, the storm's going to hit us pretty hard and we're going to have to pull them off stage. And, they'll probably be able to go back on when the storm clears. Storm did not clear till like 5 in the morning. So fast forward to 2022, when they came back and played and it was like their fourth song or their fifth song, I like was just like, it's gonna happen, and Kevin Parker on stage said, um, yeah, we were here in 2018 and the whole crowd cheered. And he's like, I've thought about that day at least once a week, every week since. And I'm like, me too. So it was redemption in a word.
For sure. And it's kind of like those screw ups that you really remember, Like my one of my highlights of the interviewing is communicant because he got what's his name? He got like a stomach flu or something, and we had to postpone it for 2 weeks, and I was so sad. I was devastated because that's like the biggest interview I'd done up to that point, and I was like, dude, I can't like I was gonna cry or something, but then pulled it together. Awesome interview, right? And I don't know. It's the screw ups that you remember.
Oh yeah. It's, you know, what do they say? What's the saying? Like success is just the next try after failure, something like that. I'm
Yeah, one of
I'm
those inspirational
butchering
quotes.
I'm butchering that quote, but you get the idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Completely agree. And I know you talked about. I don't know why my voice is cracking so much today, but
Hey man,
I,
mine too. It's all good.
I know that you talked about the Coachella booking. I think it was yesterday. I think that's when the article came out. But
Mm,
the article is a paid subscription, and it wouldn't let me read it. So would
I
you mind
know.
retelling that?
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, it was a wild week, the week that I got the Coachella offer. A lot of stuff was happening in my life, including my 8-year-old's birthday. Well, she was 7, and she was turning 8.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was running around on a Friday afternoon buying balloons and gift bags and going to Target and going to the 99-cent store and all that stuff because we had a big birthday party for the next day. And hadn't really looked at my email all afternoon, kind of like took the afternoon off. And then it was like 8 o'clock at night or something. I got home and I just like sat down on the couch for a minute. I was like, oh, okay, long day, running around, schlepping around. And I opened my phone. I'm looking at my email. What did I miss? What did I miss? I'm like, Coachella offer, Juju. What? Like, open it up. I'm like, this can't be real. What? And like, I sent it to the band. I'm like, is this real? They're like, are you for real? And yeah, we were in disbelief. And I'm I'm a Pomona kid. I grew up in Pomona, the Glass House and the Fox Theater. And even when I like grew up and moved away from Pomona and lived in many different places and toured around, I ended up back in Pomona in my mid 20s, living in a work live loft down there.
Mhm.
And part of the whole thing back then, if you lived in one of those lofts, you had to contribute to the art walk. So my idea of how to contribute to the art walk was to do a block party. And that was the first thing we ever did. It was called Moon Block Party. And I rented my first like stage and generator from Paul Tillet's brother, Perry Tillett,
Yeah.
who they own the Glass House together. And so for me, and when I was like 12, 13 years old, one of my first shows was the Specials at the Glass House and the Hippos and, you know, Backside and all these like punk and ska bands and stuff. It was the 90s. And and then I started playing around in bands when I was 13, and you get the call from the Glass House, you guys want to open for so and so, and we're like, oh my god, like that was like the peak, of life at that point. Like, we're playing the Glass House. And then so for me to get a Coachella offer is incredibly meaningful, because I've grown up around this culture and I've looked up to these people my entire life, whether I'm a musician or an organizer. I mean, these are the cream of the crop. These are like the superstars in the world. Paul is a hero of mine, and I've been lucky enough to call him a friend over the last 10 years. And, you know, he's lent me a lot of advice when it comes to Desert Daze, and just the thing that we both do, which is book bands and try to put on events that are meaningful in people's lives and enrich, you know, our lives and their lives and the artists' lives. And it's a meaningful endeavor. And so yeah, to get the sort of like validation from them, or the like, come on and play, you're just like, I feel like that 13-year-old kid again, getting a call from the Glass House. Like, it's a little bigger, it's a bigger deal
A
than that.
little bigger.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, as a Pomona kid, it means the world to me, and that's an understatement. So
It means the world to all the fans too. Like I remember, I kept getting notifications about, oh, the Coachella is going to come out soon. It's going to come out soon. What's the lineup going to be? And I checked Instagram the day that it came out, and I was scanning to see, and there's a couple bands that I was excited for, even though I live in Atlanta. Like I'm nowhere near the Coachella Valley, but I was like, okay, well, I feel good that these bands are playing. And then you look down and you see Juju. There's no way. There's no, like I had to double check, just make sure that this was happening. It really is incredible, because I think it gives hope to the weirdo musicians like us, who are still small and far away, like my drummer friends and my guitarist friends or whatever, that if you really do this and you push it and you do it, you're gonna play Coachella. It's insane.
I mean, I gotta give all props to Renee, who curates the Sonora stage. He's got incredible taste. And I'm not just saying that because he booked us. Like us aside, he has good taste. And he's a lovable guy. I've known him a long time, because we're both Pomona kids. Um, Going to shows at the Glass House, you would see Renee. And he just radiates positivity, and he's a good one. And so yeah, I think there is room for weirdo music because of Renee, and Paul too. I gotta give credit to both of them for, people say what you will about Coachella. I know people have all their sorts of opinions about Coachella. But come on, in terms of the big festivals, it's as good as it gets. It's the best
Yeah.
big festival, and they managed to keep it tasteful. Like, it's the mainstream, but like, I don't know, something about it is always um it's less cookie cutter than a lot of the big box festivals you see that have like kind of the same lineups. And I mean, with that said, I also have to be fair. Like, I feel like in the last few years, especially since the pandemic, things have gotten really, really good. Like, the programming across the board of all festivals, in my opinion, has gotten better and better and better and better. And pop music too. Like, I feel like, I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old daughter. So I am exposed to a lot of pop music. And like, seriously, I don't know if it's just like me being a good sport with them, or if I don't think it is. I think it's like the quality is improved.
Mhm.
You've got people like Kevin Parker now producing Dua Lipa, and it's like the results are better than, pop music of 20 years ago. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say any names.
Yeah, don't throw anyone under the bus.
I don't want to disparage anyone, but I think we all know in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, which I don't know if you were even born yet. I got to do the math.
2009, man.
Woo! Yeah, before your day, uh, after the 90s, see, because the 90s were a golden era.
I
Like,
know.
like, dude, when I was growing up on K Rock, we had like Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, Rage Against the Machine, Pearl Jam.
You gotta
Uh,
stop. You gotta stop making me
Come on, like
jealous.
so spoiled. Like that's what's pop music and the mainstream. Like, and then it like got really bad. Like towards the end of the 90s and the early 2000s, you have like Creed. Oh, I'm throwing people under the bus. Sorry. Uh, so anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree because some pop music I listen to be a good sport. Like I don't like pay attention to it, which is like nowadays it's they're really good at it. They got it to a T where some pop music is made specifically for just relaxing to, and that's exact. It's
Yeah,
perfect. Like
yeah,
I don't maybe sometimes I don't want to hear something so technical and I have to think about it. I just don't want to. But at the
yeah,
same time, you've got like Dua Lipa with the awe-inspiring bass and the crystal clear production, like the absolutely perfect production on all of her albums. It's incredible.
yeah,
And we've really gotten to that point again. Hopefully we'll get like a heavy comeback, like the Nirvana age over and over again would be incredible. But I'm pretty happy where we are now. And
I think it's coming. I think
fingers
loud
crossed.
guitar music is coming. I see like okay, I went to the Queens of the Stone Age show at the Forum and I was so surprised that like the first, third of the floor level was all young people moshing and crowd surfing and going the energy was so high. I was like, this is a good sign. This is a good sign. And then you have bands like King Gizzard.
I love
You
King
have
Gizzard.
yeah, and then
Hopefully
like
we'll have him on the pod.
yeah, dude, definitely. I think you're going places. Um, and like a lot of hardcore is sort of
Oh
coming
yeah, for
back.
sure.
You
It's
know,
getting bigger and
bands like
bigger.
Train and I don't know if you've
Turnstile.
yeah. Turnstile is a great example of that. And then I don't know if you're familiar with the festival in LA, Sound and Fury.
I do know
Um,
Sound and Fury. I've been looking
yeah.
at their
So
lineups.
the writing's on the wall. Like I think like energetic, music, live music is coming back. Like I think, it got so electronic and digital for so long. And then like the younger brothers and sisters of like the last generation that are coming up now, they're like, no, I want a guitar. I want to play drums, like so it's inspiring and exciting, that it's like, all right, it's coming back, So it's cool.
For sure. And something that is also super beautiful about it is that not only are we getting these like, excuse my language, heavy as shit bands, but also like you have keyboards and you have synths and you have weird maybe like drum kits. Like for me, it was John Dwyer got me into weird like um it's a song Always at Night. And it's just like a complete 80s synth song, but it's still pretty rocky, even though it isn't like driving. And you see that in a lot of the new music like Sleep Token. I don't listen to Sleep Token. They're eccentric for my taste. But dude, I respect him so much. Like what the like guitars with a crazy vocalist, all anonymous. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the future. And I'm so excited for like stuff like Desert Days where I know everyone on that lineup. And I know that, dude, the Black Angels are amazing. I know they rip. And like
Yeah.
King Gizzard, I know that King Giz always gives a top show. I think dude, I think 2024 is the year.
Me
I
too.
really, I am praying that it's the year, but I think it is the year.
It might be the
Um,
year that you need to come to Desert Days, my friend.
dude, I've been telling my parents for such a long time, even though, I'm very new to this whole process, but Levitation, Desert Days, a show at the Caverns, a show at the Red Rocks, is my perfect summer.
Wow, dude, we should hang out. You're like, you
Yeah.
got great taste. These are, yes, you're on the right path, my friend. You know what you're talking about.
Hopefully.
If you and your parents can get out to California, I'll put you on my list for Desert Days. You
I
don't even have to buy
appreciate it.
tickets. Yeah.
The only issue is school. That's the one thing holding me back, man, is school. But I mean, I'm thinking like 5 years, Desert Days will still be up and running, and I'll be in college, so I can go on my little vacations whenever. But
There you go.
yeah, it's I don't know. I'm proud of what's going on with like musicians nowadays. Like I just got the psychedelic porn crumpets record in the mail a couple of days ago, and this is like the first two records. Incredible. It really, and same with your music. And that's something that's coming to me is like, what do you listen to? Because I hear hip hop influence, I hear um like garage rock influence, and at the same time, like Hoover 3, I hear Hoover 3 in your music a little bit. It's like it really is like the Coachella of music, honestly. Like you have a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Thank you. Man, I grew up on the oldie station. My mom always had the oldie station on, so Beatles and all that stuff growing up, James Brown. But when I started kind of curating my own music selection, I had like a group of older friends and they were very influential. They like took me to my first concerts, and it was like punk rock and hardcore and ska and all this stuff. And then, I got into my Led Zeppelin,
Oh yeah,
Pink
Pink
Floyd
Floyd.
phase. But then, yeah, I mean, like I said, is one of my favorite bands. Queens of the Stone Age is one of my favorite bands. I love Can from
Oh,
the
I
60s,
love
70s.
Can.
Um, Can is probably my guiding light in terms of how I approach making music. I'm not like a good songwriter. I don't like write songs. I just kind of tinker until I like what it is, or I like play music with others in a room and it goes somewhere, and then we sort of pick a selection. We're like, okay, that's something. Um, so it's all kind of been very experimental for me. Um, Lately, some stuff that I just really love. Art Fenman, who is
Ooh.
Luke Temple. He's from Here We Go Magic, and Art Fenman is his like weirdo project. Um, let's see what else. Lumerians, they're not together anymore, but that's
Yeah.
a great band. Morgan Delt is fantastic. Um, it might sound kind of stock, but like actually, I take that back. It's not stock. Anything Tom York does, I'm like
Oh yeah, incredible.
ready. Like Atoms for Peace, Tomorrow's Modern Boxes, The Smile. Like, forget about it. Like, sign me up. I'm in. Like, I don't even need to hear it. It's my favorite thing. And then, oh, I love world music. Like, there's this group called Dur Band,
Ooh.
Dur. They have a song called Do Yo, and it's fantastic.
So I'm assuming you
Uh,
listen to We Intend to Cause Havoc.
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. So we started a label called Desert Daze Sound, and I don't know how, but someone connected me with this guy, Gio from Italy, who started managing Jaggery from Witch.
Hmm.
And he got Jocko Gardner, the Belgian musician, to kind of put a band together for Jaggery. And they reignited Witch and they did a documentary about it and all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I somehow convinced them to let us put their record out, and we sent them to Zambia, back to the same studio that those seminal records were recorded at. And, they got a tape machine and it was broken. They had to fix the tape machine and it took like a week. And so the recording session didn't start right away. And they're like living, all the band members, like some European band members, some African band members, are all living in Zambia making this record. And during the pandemic, too, like
Oh,
it was
insane.
another layer of
Yeah.
complication. And then they made this incredible record that we put out, and I just couldn't be more proud of them and that music. So so yeah, and then I started a booking agency called Space Agency Booking about
Yeah.
10 years ago, and my partner Joey books them. And so, it's very like full circle. Like, we booked their concerts, we put out their record, and I just feel so lucky that I get to be part of some small part of that story. It's kind of blows my mind a little bit, to like talking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's real. That really happened. Like, it's kind of crazy.
It blows my mind. I didn't know you were a part of Space Agency because I always get
Yeah,
their little notifications. I'm always surprised on who they have on board.
yeah, yeah.
Of
I
course, it's
started
you though. No one else. Couldn't be anyone
Oh
else.
well, yeah, it takes a team. So Joey's fantastic. He's been on the team since like 2017. We have a couple new team members and a lot of artists at this point, like almost 100. A lot of them are international artists. Um, but yeah, I started it in 2013 while I was doing the fest. Um, Out of necessity, really. Like I was like, dude, I gotta figure out how to make money, like and I started with one client, then I had two, then I had 15, then I had 30, and then a few years later, I convinced Joey to come over. He was at one of the big agencies, and he decided to look around for a new opportunity, and I was very lucky that he had faith in what I was doing and took a leap of faith and jumped on board, and he's really grown the agency quite a bit. He's incredibly talented and really knows what he's doing and has sort of fostered this new era of space agency and really grown the roster. We work with Cortex, the legendary uh, French group that everybody in the world has sampled, and Shintaro Sakamoto, legendary Japanese musician, Witch from Zambia, Osmitantes from Brazil. I mean, I just pinch me, man. I feel so lucky that we get to service these clients, these amazing artists, and somehow facilitate them coming over here and playing for people who all these years later, the crowds are still excited to see them. Hi, my cat's meowing at me. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah, I thought it was my brother actually, but yeah, it really is incredible because then at the same time you're pushing Zamrock and world rock and world music, out. And I'm glad you also like Queens. I don't know why I was thinking about that the whole time. Like I love Queens. I saw him at our Fox Theater in Atlanta. It's like Pomona and Atlanta. We have competition here. What's the
That's
better
true.
Fox Theater?
Fox Theater and Oakland.
And Oakland, yeah. And there's
I'm coming to, before I forget, I'm coming to Atlanta.
you're playing a
What,
21 plus place, man.
oh, the Earl's 21
It's
plus. Darn,
21 plus. That's what I was.
darn it.
I was gonna pick up tickets, but dude, it's 21
I'm
plus. I've been trying to
sorry,
get
man. I'm
tickets.
sorry.
No, it's
That's
cool.
my bad.
Next year, watch, okay?
Okay.
When y'all come back, I'm
We'll
definitely
do
gonna
all
be
ages
there.
next time. Promise. What's the all ages room in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, there's I guess Terminal West is like I think that's in a thousand capacity. Masquerade is
Okay.
is beautiful. That's like the Masquerade's also cool because it's like storied like the glass house, right? So
Yeah.
what's it? Their story is it was like an old mill, and I wasn't alive there to experience it, but apparently, whenever there's like a hardcore show played, like Nirvana or something, you could feel the floors like bending, like he was about to
Yeah.
break, which is kind of why they had to shut it down and they moved somewhere else, and also development and everything. So they moved somewhere else, and they've got a bunch of rooms
Oh,
now, but
yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
stories.
I played the Masquerade in like 2003 or
Oh,
4.
cool.
I can't remember who with. So, and I don't know if that was the old place or the new place. I'm not sure. But I kind of vaguely remember the floor being a thing. So maybe it was the old place. So yeah, but I'm familiar with the Masquerade.
Cool. And it's I guess it is cool to see that you're totally connected with everything. Because you know the world rock, and you know the all the random music all the random musicians and stuff. That's definitely cool. And what was I gonna say? I'm starting to get into my festival stuff with Shaky Knees. I don't know if you've heard of them, and
Oh yeah.
Queens are playing, and I was actually pretty angry that there wasn't a mosh pit at the Fox because it's all seated, so no mosh. So I convinced my parents that we picked up some tickets so I can finally be in a mosh with
Amazing.
Queens too, no other. So
That's a good one to be in.
for sure. Who do you like really want to book? Like something that'd be a dream? Because honestly, I see Primus playing Desert Days.
Yeah, that's funny that you bring that up. Primus played in 2016.
They
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. That was one of the first like big names that we ever had. And um, funny story. So around the same time, um, my band Juju got a offer to open for Claypool Lennon Delirium, Les's band, which was Sean
Yeah, yeah.
Lennon.
Great band.
Um, yeah, and our bass player at the time like was friends with Sean. So like immediately my mind went to, oh, Sean got us on this tour, you know. So on the first day of the tour, I go up to Sean. I'm like, hi, I'm Phil. It's so nice to meet you. I think you know my friend Mason, and just thank you so much for having us on this tour. And he's like, oh no, man, it was Les's idea. I'm a fan, but Les is the one that told me about you guys. I'm like, what? like like I was like at that like I had chills now thinking about that. Like, you know, I have a group of friends that I've known since junior high and growing up. Primus was like, you know, the the peak, you know,
Yeah.
of everybody's favorite thing was Primus growing up in my friend group. And so, and then, you know, I played Tony Hawk as a kid, and
Yeah.
their songs are just like burned in my brain from hours of playing Tony Hawk. And so I met Les, and he's like, "You gonna wear that dashiki from your music video?" I'm like, "You've seen our music video? Like, what?" Like, you know, and then we went on to open for Primus and Mastodon on a big um tour. Like I think it was a summer tour, and best summer vacation of my life. And God, man, I just pinched myself that like Primus is in my life, you know, it's and Les is such a hero. Um, it's unbelievable. It's like again, it's just it's unreal.
It's unreal that you know, like, again, I keep bringing this up. It's crazy how connected you are. Because like at my middle school, all of the like I don't mean to be like put people in a stereotype, but all the old guys at the school, like the old teachers, they love Primus. And like the most, I guess, like normal, non-assuming teacher is like you show them some Primus and they go absolutely nuts. It's so crazy.
Love
And
it.
like Mastodon. Mastodon is like that's my band, Atlanta.
They
That's
from Atlanta?
yeah, I call dibs
Yeah,
on him.
yeah, yeah.
I've been
That's your home team right there.
I know, and what a great home team it is. Like we may not
They're
have
great.
Primus, but we have Mastodon
Yeah, they're a fantastic band. I mean, like, you know, I guess people categorize them as metal, but they are just so much more than that. I
for
mean,
sure.
they are really like in insane musicians. Like that drummer, oi oi
Oh
oi.
yeah, Bran. And
Yeah.
they have like the thing that you and what's it, Ty Siegel have, which is like I guess I would call it the chorus effect, where like the chorus of their songs are so weird and so like grabbing. And then you have little licks here and there that are just a little bit over the top and push it over that gets you listening to it on repeat and repeat. And you see that with Ty Segall for sure. And I think you do see that with your projects. Like
Wow,
you
man.
listen to it and you hear like a little bit of, ooh, is that a little drum fill I see there? Is that a little synth screw up I see there? And it makes it perfect. It really does.
Yeah, I love those little happy accidents. It's great. You leave them in, you're like, it's not perfect, but it's vibey.
Oh yeah, and that
Flavor.
makes it perfect.
Yeah.
So we're at 5 minutes 30 seconds. It's my time to say Zoom, give me unlimited Zoom. I'm not paying $6 a month for Zoom. So corporate, I say this every time. I'm sorry. It's corporate needs to give me free Zoom. I'm not paying.
Zoom
Um,
sponsorship. Come on.
I would take it.
Give this man a sponsorship.
So I'm gonna give you a loaded question up to your
Okay.
interpretation, and you've got 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
You gotta give me three albums, three songs, three songwriters, whatever. But the magic number is three. They can change someone's life. So you can just do three of one category, any category you want, or you can pick three categories and do one of each, or three. It's got to be three. That's all.
Wow. Okay, that's hard. Three people who would change your life. Um, okay. All right. Um, let's see. I guess first I would say, um, this may seem like an odd one, but Bob Marley. I would say
Ooh,
Bob Marley. Yeah. I think a lot of my sort of PMA, positive mental attitude, stems from years of listening to Bob Marley. Um, John Lennon. I don't think there's anyone that captures that gut-wrenching, you know, raw feeling as those like John Lennon solo records. Um, and let's see. Um, what else? Um, hmm. I'm gonna go with Autolux because
Ooh.
I just feel like they're so underrated, but so influential and so unique. Um, they've meant so much to me in my life. Um, so there you go. Those are my three.
Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And I've noticed in social media the Bob Marley rise. It's like it's the Nirvana effect, where now
Hmm,
everyone's playing Marley on it, which is a great thing. But they're playing Marley on repeat and repeat, and it's really nice to see the community grow from social media, which is super cool. Which I think I connect to Nirvana because Nirvana got even bigger through TikTok and whatever, which is crazy, isn't
right,
it? You can be the
right.
biggest band of the 90s and then a new wave of I guess younglings find you and then push you over the top. Since I can't even wrap my mind around it really.
It's pretty cool. It never ends, man. And people are born every day, and I mean, it's so funny. Like you're 14, but like there's kids being born today that like, you know, are gonna look up to you and your music tastes. They're gonna watch your videos and they're gonna discover stuff, you know. So it's just a never-ending hand me down, turnover, pass the baton, you know. It's a beautiful thing.
Of course. And music never dies too, which also helps to it, you
Yeah,
know?
that's right.
And that's what I love. Like you can put out a great project that you love, and if it doesn't get some popularity, then oh well. But it's there and it's amazing. And you
And you
may
never know when it's going to blow up. 30
exactly.
years from now, some obscure artist could just be like on whatever the version of TikTok is in 30 years, like the brain TikTok or whatever
Yeah.
people are going to be on. But yeah, you never know. I mean, Juju's pretty obscure, but who knows? Maybe your kids will be the generation that actually we finally blow up.
Yeah, I'd love to say not only did I know Juju, and not only did I know Mr. Phil, but also like, they're blowing up. I could be bragging about it.
I'll be like, okay, Grandpa, okay, okay.
So it's been a complete honor. You're a lovely guy. Hopefully I'll
Oh,
make it to Desert Days sooner than later. One of these
hey,
years I got to.
you know where to find me. Just hit me up. You're on the list.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you're in LA, right?
Yeah.
So it's still daytime there for you. It's about to be night. But have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your night. We'll talk soon.
Awesome. Adios.